Hey there, how there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter, and I'm welcome to another Stone Cold Hockey video doing the 1981-82 NHL season. And we'll be focusing on the New York Islanders as they try to go for a three-peat. Of course, we all know they did in real life, but what about in fantasy? Anyway, the Islanders are 9-3-3, so pretty good for us. We have the fewest losses, tied with Minnesota and Boston for the fewest losses. The Whalers were one of the last three teams to go undefeated, but they're now pathetic. The Patrick division is very wide open. It's only 5 points between us and last place Philadelphia. The Smythe, it's basically four teams undone, but the Campbell, the North, Chicago, the Woodpeck, 3 points. Kluche, 20 goals, doing his WHA thing, but yeah, he's doing it. 20 goals in 20 games. Wayne Gretzky, 18. Marcel Dion, 18. Bossy has 14. Points wise, Wayne Gretzky number one, Marcel Dion, Mike Rogers, Real Kluche tied for second. Billy Smith looking good and goes against. Ed Sinkowski, yeah, 3.1, but he has a lot of time. Ours 15 games. We have played the fewest games in the NHL. Quebec's played 20. We played 15. Points percentage 700. That's our highest. So yeah, Winnipeg hasn't played much. Anyway, yeah, the points thing. We are 5-0-2 at home. Us in Minnesota have yet to lose on home turf. The road team, well, every team has won at least 2 games. On the road, Buffalo has yet to win on the road. Colorado has yet to win on the road. Highlights wise, there are 35 hat tricks. Nice. 4 games of the plus 30s. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, October 11th. Pittsburgh was up 5-1. 5 straight goals by Philly, Bridgman, Bain, Leach, Central, and Leach. Colorado beat Edmonton 8-5 on October 24th when they finally won a game. Edmonton was looking good, up 4-1, and then they blew it. Rangers Boston on Halloween. I thought the Rangers up 4-2, and what a game! 3 goals in the third period. Johnstone, Ruotsalainen, and Rogers. So Boston's just like, what the hell? And I'm like, what the hell? And then Washington, Colorado from Halloween. Colorado was up 4-1 as Rush was doing well against Paro, and then 6 goals in the third period. Gardner, Walter, Gardner, Marouk, Faberge, and Valentine. So we go into November 14th. We are hosting those pesky Oilers in what could be a Stanley Cup rematch. A match. Rolly Mulinson and Ron Lowe, the backups, are going to be playing for the Islanders and the Oilers, respectively. Grant Fuhr, the 18-year-old Grant Fuhr, we actually didn't know that he was only 18 in that year, 81-82, with Andy Moog being the number 3 goalie. So yeah, Edmonton was getting the goalies, and Ron Lowe was the odd man out. I think he went to the Devils when they were the Devils. Anyway, our team, Billy Smith would be in net, but Rolly's playing this game. Mike Bossy, one of the most talented goal scorers ever. Unfortunately, injuries would hurt him. Brian Trottier, the First Nations boy. Clark Gillies, the first round pick in 74, that looked good. John Tonelli, Bob Nystrom doing the job since 1980. Bob Bourne, Danny Pot, then the number one pick by the others in 73, which would have been great. Well, Montreal wanted him so badly they were willing to trade 5 players for him. No, sir. The Soder brothers, Brendan Dwayne, 2 of the 5, with Rich, Ron, and Rich, Ron, Brian, and Daryl. So there were 6 Soder brothers in the NHL, and then the 7th, Gary, had to stay home for the farm. Andres Calor, Butch Goring, the first ever massive trade deadline move by a team being picked up from the Kings, 1980. Wayne Merrick, Mike McEwen, a high-scoring defenseman. Thomas Janssen, Billy Carroll, Stefan Pearson, Hector Marini, Dave Langevin, the former WJer, Ken Morrill, the American Icer, Greg Gilbert, a player, Gordon Lane, a defenseman. Edmonton, you got the great Wayne Gretzky, you got Moose Messier, you got Glenn Anderson, Yari Curry, Dave Lumley, Paul Coffey, Kitchener, Pat Hughes, Matty Hagman, Dave Hunter, Risto Siltalainen, Dave Semenko, Tom Brolston, Semenko the Enforcer, Kevin Lowe, Bert Callahan, Gary Unger, who was once an Ironman of hockey, Lee Fogelin Jr., Charlie Huddy, Doug Hicks, Dan Weir, no mice to probably throw off a penalty shot, Ken Berry, Gary LaRiviere, Mike Forbes, and Mark Capshot. 3 minutes later, no, and much later, Dixie bobbled it, and then Bossy picked it up from Trottier. Nice one. Oh, who's the boss? He's the boss. 15th. Crap, the others just scored a goal. And Moose Messier, his 13th from Gretzky and LaRiviere. 6 minutes. Edmonton, no. 1 minutes later, they score. Dave Hunter, his third from Silton and Glennie Anderson. Much later, we get penalized. It's Bob Bourne. High powered, but they can't score. Another chance to make a wild save to make a. Do you think he can score a goal? Up, he's in the zone now, Mr. Lowe. It is. Score. Carlini Canale, his eighth from Poppin and Engstrom. 1 minute later, unfortunately. 1 minute. That's a under. Born to be wild. His fifth from Dwayne Antonelli. In the photo, break you cupcakes. Much later. But they score! Pat Hughes, Mr. Hughes has third from Huddy and Siltonen. We're tied. Much later. They score again! The great one from Hicks. Doug Hicks with a Gretzky. Much later. Can we do it? Can we do it? No. And Lumley puts it in the net and sinks our chances, and those pesky New York Islanders finally lose the game at home. What a third period for Edmonton. Hughes, Gretzky, and Lumley. We just fucked it up. You can blame Muleson all you want, but, we should have taken down Ron Lowe when we did, but we fucking lost. November 15th, a game in Philadelphia. We would be in Philadelphia, but we have to simulate. Colorado sucks again. The rules are if we lose or tie as a team, the set team, then we have to play till we win. And we win 4-3. Mielinson beats Peters. Philly goals by Hoffmeyer, Bill Barber, Kitchener, and Brian Propp. Our goals, Merrick, Bossy, Giles, and Stephen Pearson. Wearing Quebec, La Belle Provence. And Quebec will bring in Michel Plas and net. Rolly Mielinson back in net. Billy Smith must be having troubles. Yeah, Quebec, Michel Plas, the third stringer. The guy who played for Kansas City in the NHL. Kansas City had a team. Dan Bouchard was their main guy. signed from Calgary. He was doing well for Quebec. He is Patrick Roy's idol, by the way. John Garrett. John Garrett. I guess Hartford traded him to Quebec or something. But yeah, John Garrett to Quebec. Well, and Clint Malarchuk. Remember that name 10 years later. Quebec has Peter Stastny and Marian and Anton. So the three Stastny boys defecting from the Czech Republic to do this. Michel Goulet, the former WHA, soon to be Quebec icon. Marc Tardif, coming in from the WHA as well. Real Cluche, that 20 goals in 20 games. This is the first game since that mark. Dale Hunter. Sorry, as a Kitchener Ranger fan, I must spit. Miro Freiser. Jacques Richard, who was his hotshot from the Quebec League that Atlanta took second overall, but unfortunately Richard did not bloom as well, and he was basically done for. Alain Cote, another WHA, Mario Marois, Pierre Aubu, Dave Bichette, Pierre Lacroix. I don't know if that's the same Pierre Lacroix that was the. No, I don't think this was the same Pierre Lacroix that was the GM of the Nordiques / Avalanche. Norman Rushford, okay. Andre Moose Dupont played for the Nordiques. I did not know that. Basil McRae, Wally Weir, Robbie Ftorek, who basically was not much in the NHL. Sean Hamel, Justin Ontario, and Dale Hoganson. Okay. 4 minutes into the game. Abu Nystrom. Quatrième de la saison, n'assiste Bossy et Poisson. 6 minutes partout. Bossy, 17e de la saison, l'assiste Dwayne Sutter et Gillies. 6 minutes partout. C'est Petorek. Killer Badal. Pas de bout de Caroline. 2-0 en l'honneur. Je parle français parce que Québec City, c'est massif de francophone. Montréal, c'est bilingual, mais Québec City, francophone. 5 minutes pour tout. Marianne Stachny. 9e de la saison, l'assist Taki et Hunter. Hunter de l'assist, 20 de l'assist, oui. 4 minutes. Assist Richard et Marois. 2 minutes pour tout. Kaiser Assassin. Marianne Stachny. 5 minutes to beat. Right, 6 minutes. Manuel de Quebec Dupont, 5 minutes. Je me parle français pour l'expansion. So in the 5 minutes that Moose Dupont is in the box, the others can score any amount of goals, and Quebec will be perpetually prohibited. Like that one, Tonelli from Trottier makes it 3-3. And Bossy tried to score but can't. So 3-3, that's all right. 6 minutes partout. C'est Wally Weir. Nope. Rat de place at Bossy. 6 minutes partout. And then we play Voilà. Gordon Lane. Anton. The sister Peter and Anton. Oh boy. Oh, spite. Brent Sutter decides to fight Alan Cote to try to help us out. And it does. Bossy's 18 from Gillies and Carroll. 4-4. What a fight. Brent Sutter decides to do it. And a big point for the Islanders. Unfortunately, that game ends in a tie. At least we got a tie. That was a good game. Bossy with a pair of goals. Now, unfortunately, the rules state in 1981 that any game tied after 3 periods in overtime, that's it. It ends in a tie. Pathetic. I hate that rule. So yeah. They killed off regular season overtime in 1942 because of the war and never reinstated it till 1983. Like, why? I don't know. But anyway, a tie is just as bad as a loss. A tie is like kissing your sister. So that means we're practically going to have to simulate our next game. Colorado loses again. Minnesota against Edmonton, and Edmonton beats Minnesota. That means they are finally they lose a game at home. Colorado loses to Buffalo. Toronto sucks. Our next game is against our crosstown rivals Rangers, but because we tied, we have to simulate it. Montreal crushed Pittsburgh on Hockey Night in Canada, and we crushed the Rangers 10-4 as Billy Smith comes back. Steve Weeks weak in the Ayers. Barry Beck did score a hat trick, so another Rangers scoring a hat trick on Long Island. But this time, like Roots' line, and no goal, they didn't win. Our goals: Bourne, Trottier, Bossy, Bourne, Tonelli, Bossy, Gillies, Nystrom, Carroll, Sutter. I don't think any of us had Carroll and Sutter before our first goals, 10-4. Toronto on Hockey Night in Canada tied Boston. So we go back to we go to New York. Second game of the home and home. And Mielenson and Eddie Mio. So both teams decided to go with their backups, Mielenson and Milo. Steve Weeks not there. John Davidson winding down because of a knee problem. John Van Diesbroek, the goalie of the future for the Rangers, alongside Steve Baker, who put a big apple on his mask. The crosstown rivals, Rangers have Ron Duguay, good goal scorer. Mike Rogers, who had a 100-point season with the Rangers, believe it or not. Mark Pavlich, part of the Miracle on Ice. Eddie Johnstone, good player. Don Maloney, Kitchener. Or is it Dave Maloney? Well, one of them was Kitchener Ranger. Roots and Leinen, who scored the 4 goals against the others, but still lost the game. Well, tied the game. Dave Silk, Miracle on Ice. Pat Hickey, Mikko Leinen, who had a 6-assist night in the playoffs in 1982 in real life. Barry Beck, great player. Shoot the puck, Barry. Stevie Fickers, Rookie of the Year. Nick Fotoyu. I think the Rangers picked up Fatorik from Nordiques, but yeah, Fatorik. Nick Fotoyu, the protector. Mike Allison. Dean Talafios. Ron Greschner, who would play over 1,000 games in Rangers uniform. Ron McClanahan, another member of the American Ice team. Carol Fadney. Andre Dorey, Tom Laidlaw, Yuri Gillis, Head Hospodar, Tom Younghans, and Peter Wallin. 5 minutes later. We score! Mike Rogers, he's 14 from Younghans and Laidlaw. I think Younghans screwed us over last time. Much later. We score! Nice run is 6 from Tonelli. 2 minutes later, well, our attack got hit, but thankfully for us, that actually works out because it's a 5-minute penalty to Pavlich, which means 5 minutes we can score as many goals as we can. Which we can't do. We can't do anything. Fuck. 6 minutes later. Aggression. Rangers. Again, another major on the Rangers. Fatoyu. Now we gotta score. We do! Yay! Trots. Hot to trot from Johnston and Gillies makes it 2-1. And we score again! Dwayne Sutta, the Sutta brothers, from Trots and Bossier. That's all right. We scored 2 goals in that 5-minute power play. Our second chance, scoring goes off for 2. Damn it. Utsalainen, he just loves scoring on us. That's like his 5th goal against us in one game of the year. Maloney and Dore scoring. The assist, Dave Maloney. 4 minutes later, we got penalized. Sutter is in the box. Doesn't matter which one. And Pavlik from Gresh. We are just Oi Gavalt. 4 minutes later, we have a chance to kill. Hot to Trot does it again. His second of the night, 13 for the year from Bossy and Kalor. 4 minutes later, another major on the Rangers, and Beck is off for 5. That's 3 major penalties on the Rangers. No chance, Bossy? Nuts. I thought we had it. Now we have another chance? Nope. Another chance? No. Rats. And Rangers getting up a 2-minute penalty. Roots are lining. Can we make him pay? We do. Yeah. Billy Carroll. 'Tis the season for the puck and fa la 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 la. Christmas Carol. Billy Carroll, his second from Langevin and Ponton. 5-3. We should be okay. We are, thankfully, and Mulinson actually gets a meaningful win. We beat the Ant Rangers. We sweep the home and home. Yippee. Rangers goes by Rogers, Rootsline, and Pavlich, but our goes by Nystrom, Trottier, Dwayne Sutter, Trottier, and Carroll. Already then, Colorado beat Vancouver. Okay, cool. Edmonton ties at Detroit. Our next game is against Boston. We'll simulate everything else around it. So our next video will deal with Boston. We are 4 points up on the Rangers in Pittsburgh in the Patrick. Our 20 points are tied with the Oilers for the most points in the NHL. Boston has 27 in the Adams. Looks like Hartford's not going anywhere. Philly's got 20 points, which would put them third in the North Division. The North Division's a mess. St. Louis, Winnipeg, Toronto, and Detroit are all below 500. Yeah, the 82 Leafs, that was their shittiest season until 1984, was it? That they broke the record for most losses. In 85, they did it again. Oh, yeah, Edmonton, Vancouver, LA, Calgary, and the Smythe, Minnesota, Chicago, St. Louis, and Winnipeg. In the North, Bossy's third in goal scoring. Kluche has cooled down a lot. So Bossy's picking up Billy Smith being one of the best goalies around with Meloche and Rocky Vachon. Yeah, it's weird how Billy Smith's 7-1. Millanson's doing okay, but yeah, Billy Smith, when he plays, he plays. And that's what happens. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.